Come on, let's get moving. We're not frozen in place after all.
Following thunder! Take this! 'Verdict is... Lightning flash! Here! Take this!
What's the hurry? Cool it! Don't get frostbite. Freeze! Cool it! This moment will be frozen in time. Dodge this!
Lightning flash! Following thunder!
Freeze!
Wind, hear me! Go as flash!
Time for retribution! Take this!
Don't get frostbite.
Lightning flash! slash! Yeah.
Barbados, guide us.
Verdict is... lightning slash! Ha! Ha! Take this! Lightning slash! Time for retribution! Anything the knights can do for you?
Dodge this! This moment will be frozen in...
Take this! Here!
Cool it!
Verdict is...
I swear by my sword! Go as
Freeze!
Thunderclap!
Dodge this! Don't push your... Don't get frostbite! Freeze!
Time for retribution! Anything the knights can do for you?
Add Astra. Thank you for
Deflect! Run! The process of elimination.
Ready, steady, go!
Let me guess where you're from.
Since it's Mona's treat, we can order whatever we want, right?
Of course. I am a most generous master, after all. But only if you can finish it all. Wasting food simply will not do.
Excuse me, what would you like to order? These are made using large, succulent shrimp wrapped in crispy fried potatoes. They have an amazing texture. It's exactly what it says on the label. Abalone made from vegetarian ingredients. It's just as good as the real thing. Though tofu could not be a more ordinary ingredient, This is a favorite among our regulars. Bamboo shoots, meat, and ham are cooked together, creating a richly flavored soup. Pour a few spoonfuls into each bowl of rice you eat. You'll never get enough of it.
All of them? We only have 3. No, 2.5 people? Isn't that too much food?
That's not how you count it. Besides, Paimon hasn't even ordered yet. Ahem. Squirrelfish, Juyu chili chicken, and jewelry soup, please.
Sure. And is there anything else you'd like to order, ma'am?
I'd just like to ask, how much do the current dishes cost in total?
Around 20,000 mora.
Then, I'll just have some vegetarian noodles, please.
All right. A bowl of vegetarian noodles, was it? Please wait a moment. We'll serve you shortly.
Paimon's been thinking about something since we started eating. Is it because she actually doesn't have money?
I heard that. I said I was treating. How could I be rattled by something as mundane as Mora? An astrologist's mind is set on studying the stars. Being so easily disturbed by such banal matters would hamper my judgment. Especially the act of overly gratifying oneself using Mora. It is both vulgar and dangerous.
So, not eating the dishes we ordered is also part of an astrologist's pride? Paimon doesn't get it. But it feels kind of bad that only we got to feast. Oh, yes, we can do that. Just give us a minute. You don't use more to fulfill your desires, so it's fine as long as you're not buying anything, right? Let's go borrow the kitchen from the innkeeper.
It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay here.
Luck is not on my side.
Hello, how may I help you?
We'd like to borrow the kitchen here.
Ah, I see. In that case, sure. As long as you prepared your own ingredients, feel free to use the kitchen. If I may, you must be well versed in the art of cooking, yes? Talented indeed. Actually, I have a small suggestion to make. From your clothes, you're most likely not from around these parts. But since you've come to Liyue, would you like to try making Liyue-style cuisine? I have a recipe for golden crab with me. It's a Yue cuisine classic. It's crab meat that's been rolled in flour, deep-fried, and then pan-fried together with ginger and garlic. When you finally plate it up, the crab seems to be lying on gold.
Golden crab. Golden crab! Golden crab! Then let's get to it. With your skills in the kitchen, this'll be a cinch.
There's no need to spend all that effort on me. I'm not in dire need of food. I am a little hungry, but it's not a big deal. This aroma is... Wow, it's incredible. Fine. Since my disciple has put in so much time and effort, I must, with great difficulty, accept. Ah, it's delicious. It's the most delicious thing I've eaten recently. I mean, I never knew that my disciple was this skilled. As your master, I am most comforted. I see that it's no boast to call them Liyue's delicacies. I suppose it wasn't too much to spend all this mora on. Ah, it's nothing. Nothing at all. Now that we've eaten and drank our fill, we should be off. If we travel north from here, we should reach the Stone Gate, and from there we will be within the boundaries of Mondstadt. What deep mystery shall we acquire knowledge of? I'm looking forward to it.
Need to get something from A to B.
Whew, that was tiring, but we're finally in Mondstadt. The quest to plumb the wondrous depths of knowledge is indeed arduous.
Paimon's not tired.
Ugh, that's because you float.
Well, it doesn't look like an astrologist is all that amazing either.
That's because you have too many unrealistic fantasies about astrology.
Are you also resting your feet here?
Who are you?
Oh, my brothers and I are all merchants. We just finished doing business in Liyue, and we're preparing to head back to Mondstadt. You look rather tired. The cart we hired will be coming in a while. What say you to coming along for the ride? Let's go then. We can make conversation along the way. The more the merrier.
There's no need. Now shoo, get out of our way.
Huh? Miss, is there something wrong?
Cease your pretensions, bandit. Picking up people on the road who appear vulnerable, robbing them blind once they've gotten on the cart, and then taking them to some Archon-forsaken place. Is that your deal?
What are you saying? We came over here to make conversation, and this is how we're rewarded? With insults? If you don't want to get on, don't. Crazy girl.
Well then, shall I tell you now which objects you have on you that are stolen? If you have any quibbles, we can bring people to corroborate what I've said, and all will come to light. If I lose, I'll pay you 20,000 mora. But if I win, then you'll be eating prison rations in Liyue Harbor tonight. How about it? If you're real legitimate businessmen, there's nothing to fear, is there?
You've pushed it too far, Brat. I don't know how you found out, but as long as we get rid of you, no one will have to know.
Don't fret, it's just a few bandits. You said earlier that there was nothing amazing about astrologists.
I'll blow you away! Fry! You're open!
Delve into destiny! Shadows of fate! Fate is upon you!
Picked the wrong test subject.
Halloween Thunder!
Cool it!
Verdict is...
Decided by destiny! Let me scribe!
You're open!
Barbados, guide us.
What did you think? Did that satisfy your expectations? Such things are elementary for an astrologist. Lies are worthless before astrology. Destiny and truth are written in the stars. Though it may take more time to garner the specifics, I can read the gist of a situation at a glance.
But you did hit some bumps in the road.
That's because Tivat's stars can only display the fates and truths of this world. Anything related to you becomes like a fog that even I cannot penetrate. That is why I must meet that successor. With our knowledge combined, I might be able to gain new insight into your fate. Whatever the case, you've got everything to gain from this trip. All right, I'm rested. Let's get this journey to Mondstadt over with.
If only we had a cart.
I thought you weren't tired. Are you ready? Don't shame your master now. We're about to meet that successor. I guess. Wait, no. It won't do if you have no idea at all, even if you are a fake disciple. We have a rule that forbids us from teaching outsiders, but I suppose I could teach you. My astrology is based on hydromancy, and as the name suggests, I use the reflections in water bodies to observe the true starry sky. Allow me to demonstrate. Watch closely now. From the present station and movement of the stars, I see. So that successor is a young, female Knight of Favonius.
Doesn't that sound like Lisa?
We will meet her here presently. Well, that's all the information we need. It seems that even basic astrology can't be grasped in one go. Never mind, I'll explain in detail later. She's here.
Wow, it's you, Mr. Honorary Knight. And Paimon, too, you're back.
That's her. The successor to great knowledge.
Successor?
That's right. I am the astrologist who has plumbed the depths of the ocean of stars. Surely you have long calculated my arrival as well.
An ocean of stars? What's that? Does it have fish in it?
Fish? No, don't play dumb. Is this some kind of game?
I should be the one saying that. I didn't get what you said at all.
But my predictions can't be mistaken. Well, let's make sure. Your mother's name is Alice, isn't it?
That's right. Oh, so you're Mommy's friend. But she's gone very far away.
My readings told me as much. But before she left, she must have imparted her mystical arts to you, surely.
Mystical arts? I don't get it. Mommy only taught me to make Jumpy Dumpties. So Glee's mother is the friend and rival of Mona's teacher?
Yes. As well versed in astrology as she was, my master knew only astrology. Alice, on the other hand, was skilled in a great many other mystical fields.
Well, Glee's so young, so even if she'd heard this deep knowledge, she might not have understood.
Yes. It seems she has inherited the blood, but not the knowledge. What a miscalculation. There can be no contest like this. Yes. So before Alice left, did she tell you about a 50-year agreement and about a certain box?
Oh, I know this one. So you're here for that box. I'll look. Wait here. Not this one. Or this one. No, it's not this one either. Ah, I remember now. I buried it together with my new treasure at Windrise. Wait for me. I'll be right back. Glee, don't just run off. Don't you need the things in your pack?
I'll help her pack these things back in. You go after her. Looking at how rash she is, I worry for the box.
We're here! This is it! Let's dig it up! It can't be! I put a sign here! There's no mistake! Ah! Dendro's lines! We can talk later! Let's take them out first!
This one will be frozen in time.
Lightning flash! Take this!
Freeze! Don't get frostbite.
Burn!
Found it! It's this box! Glad it wasn't damaged in the explosions. Retrieval complete! Let's bring it back!
This weather is perfect. We should move out.
You're back at last. The wait was exceedingly dull. I had intended to read a book to pass the time, but this one was just some ridiculous diary. Nothing of note in it at all. It dropped from Clee's backpack, so I thought it might contain some ancient knowledge, but... Never mind that. So, did you find the box?
We did! It's in perfect shape!
That's wonderful! Wait a moment. Why isn't it locked? And why is it empty?
Huh? Well, it's because I borrowed this box to store my treasures.
Borrowed?
But since you're here for the box, I took all my treasures out. That's why it's empty.
You used it to store your things? Then where are the original contents of the box? That's what I want.
Oh, you want the thing that used to be in the box? You should have said so.
You haven't broken it, have you?
No, it's not broken at all. It's the book in your hand.
What? This. So this book, this diary, is that Hag's... It's her diary from 50 years ago? The thing she wanted back after 50 years was the dark history of her youth? I'm finished. No wonder that old woman said I should not look at it no matter what, or she'd rip me to shreds.
Am I in trouble? It was you who said you wanted the box. You didn't say anything about the thing inside. I don't know anything. I'm leaving. Bye. Well, if you don't say anything, your master won't find out, will she?
Impossible. Astrology can see through all lies. You've seen it yourself. After having spent all my mora to come to Mondstadt, not only have I gained no knowledge, but now I can't return. How did it come to this?
That's so sad. Maybe you could forget everything in that book and then go back.
That's too difficult. And even if I wanted to stay in Mondstadt, it would be... Yes, I mean no. You really have no way with words.
Well, then you'll just have to go back and face your master.
Stop talking about it. I guess I'll just have to stay in Mondstadt temporarily. Once that old crone's reached the end of her days, I'll be free. But what will I do about my astrology research? No, wait, I don't even have a place to stay.
About that, we can go ask Catherine at the Adventurers Guild. Let's see if she can help.
The Adventurers Guild? Ah, right. You can do commissions for them in exchange for... You know what I mean, don't you? Oh, thanks. Never mind, it's nothing.
I do hope the Knights of Favonius are all working hard. Ad Astra Abyssosk. I see. I understand the situation. There is a magic laboratory in Mondstadt that has been sealed by some unknown person. Although we have a few specialists who could break the seal, they all have their own labs and aren't that interested in the matter. I believe that if the astrologist you mentioned can break the seal, the owner of that house wouldn't mind if she stayed there. All right. Then allow me to tell you where the house is.
The person who placed this seal is by no means simple. Breaking this seal by force is nigh on impossible. Interesting. I suppose it's worth using my astrology on. Let me see. I see. So if you first, and then you... All right, it's open.
Holy moly, that's amazing! Now we just need to go back to Catherine and you'll be able to stay here.
No need, no need. You have my utmost thanks.
You are?
Oh, I'm Goth, the owner of this house. I passed by the Adventurers Guild a while back and Catherine told me about the matter. I never thought this troublesome seal would be dispelled so quickly.
Does that mean I can stay here?
Of course, of course. The facilities inside were just being left there anyway. I would be glad to have someone make use of them. To express my thanks, I shall rent this building to you at the lowest possible price.
Rent? I didn't hear anything about rent, and I helped out too.
Yes, of course, I understand. I am most thankful to you for that. So rest assured that I will give you the best rates.
I mean...
Paimon thinks Mona's misunderstood something, but...
I guess I don't have any other choice. I'll rent this place.
Great! Then we are agreed. I will go prepare the documentation. Please wait here.
Thanks for your help. Also, well, I'm very sorry, but I won't be able to do what I agreed to help you with just yet. Without the necessary tools and without new knowledge, it will take me some time to see your destiny clearly. But I promise that I'll do a reading for you first thing once I'm ready. Yes, I don't really know what to do, but I'll do my best. I wish you both safe travels. As for me, I need to think of the future as well.
How is she gonna make a living if she doesn't use astrology to make money? Maybe we should come back and check on her once in a while. It would really be bad if she fainted from hunger in there.
Onwards. We have work.
Sister Rosaria! So here you are! Choir practice is about to...
I've told you already, I don't go in for that kind of thing. I've got more important matters to attend to.
Oh, but this event has commemorative significance. The church hopes that all sisters will be present.
Hopes? That's odd, because I don't recall a fulfill the hopes of others clause in my job description.
I mean, sure, but...
But what? You're the event organizer, aren't you? Do you...
What do you mean?
This far out from Mondstadt at this hour? Even if you set out right now, I'll wager you'd still miss the opening ceremony. Who knows? Maybe this is someone's grand plan to make a fool out of you.
Huh? Well, that can't be. People aren't like that.
Evidence decides what people are like, not your feelings. Maybe you're a little too trusting of other people. Don't fret, nobody's gonna blame you if you go back empty-handed. I can't imagine anyone else was delusional enough to think I was gonna show up. But if you dally any longer, you really won't make it.
You're right. It's a very important commemorative event. If I'm late, then... right, I've gotta get going.
Seems like that sister's an expert in making people believe anything she wants.
I thought I heard something. Who are you and why are you eavesdropping?
We'd better watch out. She seems like a dangerous villain, or a trickster at best.
Oh, really? I'm a member of the long-standing Favonius Church. You're an eavesdropping pixie from who knows where, and you think I'm the trickster?
Wait, she heard that? Paimon was whispering so quietly.
And as for this outlander you seem to be following... So it's you. The honorary knight that saved us from storm terror. Well then, given your status, I won't press you on your reasons for eavesdropping. Otherwise, depending on your answer, I could have arrested you on the spot.
What? Do the Sisters of Mondstadt have the authority to arrest people now?
We can't go turning a blind eye to hidden dangers, can we? Why shouldn't sisters have a sense of justice?
That doesn't sound right. But Paimon can't think of a good comeback.
Let's talk about you. What are you doing in the mountains? If it's him you're after, I made a point of noting his tracks. Many people have made their way up after the snowstorm. Let's hope they're still there.
So, are you also looking for him?
No, this is just a professional habit of mine. I sensed elemental traces in these tracks. Never hurts to be vigilant. I couldn't care what you think. Come on then. I'd like to see what he's up to anyway.
Rosaria said there were elemental traces in the track. They should show up pretty clearly with elemental sight.
You know, little pixie, your ability to appear and disappear at will is very interesting.
Yeah?
After committing a crime, you'd be able to leave the scene without a trace.
You're so suspicious. Why is Paimon a criminal in your example?
Wind, shear me!
Right there.
Freeze!
Send this quickly.
Oh, so sorry.
You need to hurry up. This will stop.
I'm getting lightning flash!
Roasted fry. You need to hurry up. This one.
Take this! Here!
Use this first.
Halloween thunder!
Let's end this quickly. I must counterattack. You need to hurry up.
Barbados, guide us.
Dodge this! This moment will be frozen.
This is bad. I guess this is it.
Freeze!
Time for retribution. This was well done. You need a lightning flash.
Cool it!
Roasted fry.
Dodge this!
Hurry up. This was well done. Nose clogged.
Is this an answer from this world?
getting colder. Rosaria, aren't you freezing?
Me? I'm alright. I got used to operating in adverse conditions a long time ago.
Huh? Seems like there's more to being a sister in the Favonius Church than Paimon realized.
Go as flash!
Wind, hear me!
Don't get frostbite.
Not this time.
Time for retribution!
Want to get a little closer? Getting a little cold?
Burn!
Cool it.
Barbados, guide us.
One after another.
We'll need more where that came from.
Is that Albedo? Why would he hang around a place like this?
The word on the street is he loves painting. He'll hang around anywhere for a good landscape. The views and scenery here are pretty good. Potential paintings everywhere you look.
But can't he see those hilly churros? Isn't he in danger? Uh-oh. Looks like we startled them. Enough talk. Let's take them out of the picture first.
Verticus!
Bellowing thunder! Here! Lightning flash!
Freeze.
Who are you? Why did you alarm them? Thank the gods I'd already completed my painting. Would have been a shame to leave these particular hilly trails unfinished.
What's up with painting hilly churros? What makes them so interesting?
I'm afraid the answer isn't easy to explain. If you'd like to have a look at my painting, it may give you a clue.
Wow.
You can find these, but take a look at this specimen. The build, the coat, and there's a distinct force at work here. In the cyclical lives of such primitive communities, such unique attributes are an indication of evolution at work.
Hold your horses. We found your man. I'm headed back.
What? Don't you have any questions for him? What a weirdo.
So Sister Rosaria brought you. Surprising. And I didn't have time to thank her. But back to the point. From her words, it seems that you were looking for me?
Mm-hmm. We met a girl in Mondstadt, Sucrose. She said you were stuck with your research.
I see. So Sucrose sent you here. Then, if I'm not mistaken, I've heard a bit of... I'll skip to the conclusion. There's only one possibility after all. Excellent. If I could procure your assistance... forgive me. This must be confusing. Where should I begin? The essence of life?
Whoa. You want to start with that?
You're right. Giving a demonstration would be better than trying to explain. For example, awakening life. Breathing new life into fallen leaves.
You can do that?
However, I have a particular seed in my possession. The method I'm talking about has produced no results. It's like you, in that it hails from another world.
Well, if you're struggling to figure it out, Paimon's not sure we're gonna be much assistance.
I beg to differ. I'm unable to comprehend the intricacies of life outside of the known world. But you're not from the known world. By observing and researching you, I may just be able to find a way to get the seed to sprout.
Shall we just get out of here? This sounds a little freaky.
It's possible. Time for a change.
Albedo and that traveler seem to have hit it off. Takes a weirdo to know one, I guess. I wonder, does this constitute a risk to Mondstadt?
Lightning slash! Take this!
I swear by my sword!
Paimon has a question. After the seed sprouts, will it grow into anything?
I don't know. But I feel the importance will lie in the method, not the endpoint. Using alchemy to awaken otherworldly life into that would constitute a big leap in my understanding of the essence of life. After awakening, even creation may be possible. Still a little difficult to understand?
No, Paimon's got a brain. But what's the seed gonna become? Isn't that more interesting than whatever it was you were saying?
Well, if it turns out to be a delicious fruit, dinner's on me.
Yay! Someone's holding you to it.
Well, let's just say I, occasionally have to look after a child. Another lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. I suppose it's one of the few non-alchemy related disciplines I'm any good at. The subject of my first research was the elements. In this world, manipulating the elements requires a vision. Though I can't see anything resembling one on your person, how you're able to freely manipulate elemental power is something I'd like to ascertain. I've got a few questions in that regard. Firstly, do you have any extra organs? A second heart? A fourth stomach? Things of that nature. Fascinating. And this floating child is connected to your body in some way?
What a stupid question! Can't you see the gap between us? And another thing, it's Paimon, not floating child.
I was merely considering the possibility that you were an external organ. Perhaps there is some invisible force connecting you. Oh, that rules out that possibility. I wonder, did Paimon guide the elemental power to you? But that would mean that Paimon's elemental power would be enough to break through a mountain rock at least 10 meters thick, or cause the waterfall south of Springfield to flow backwards. No, that definitely can't be it.
Hey, how would you know anyway?
In that case, it would appear that there's no obvious difference between the composition of your body and that of the humans in this world. Given that there's clearly a discrepancy in their research, it seems that only experimentation will yield the answers. Firstly, this mysterious elemental power. I'd like to examine exactly how it manifests externally. Let me lure a few slimes to the area. Perhaps you'd be able to defeat them, using whatever method comes most naturally to you.
Huh? Doesn't seem very sciencey.
Direct and clear observation are imperative to a good experiment. This is just a simple exercise. Naturally, if you require a greater challenge, we could bring in 6 Oceanids.
Slimes! Slimes are fine!
Well, prepare yourself. The slimes will be here any moment.
Verdict is... Here! Take this! Burn! Lightning slash! Take this! Thunderclap! Verdict is... Lightning slash! Here! Lightning slash! Burn!
Go and fly!
Barbados, guide us.
Here!
Great work. Did you feel anything out of the ordinary? If you're injured, I have a few emergency potions ready. Excellent. According to my observations, the manifestation of the external elemental flow is as expected. Elemental reactions are normal. There's nothing out of the ordinary. Now that we know that the external flow is manifesting normally, let's test the internal flow.
Internal flow? How do you test that?
It's very simple. I can use alchemy to create a potion that will extract elemental power. If the elemental power is stored or accumulated physically within your body, this potion may elicit an elemental reaction.
Sounds kinda terrifying.
Don't worry. In the normal course of events, you'd feel some temporary queasiness. No bodily injury.
And in the abnormal course of events?
If anything unexpected occurs, I've made the necessary preparations. Try not to worry. Well, it's not that there aren't any risks involved, but if there is anything blocking your elemental flow, we'll be able to locate it with this test. Just a warning. If an internal elemental reaction occurs for any other reason, that's a bad sign. Yes, that's an excellent way to think about it. Before we get started, the potion we'll use for the test is missing a catalyst. We'll need to find it. It's a type of ore known as star silver, but unfortunately not all of it is suitable. I'll take you to my campsite. We can gather some star silver ore on the way. I'll point out any likely contenders. All going to plan, we should be able to begin concocting the potion when we get to the campsite.
Paimon's still got a few safety concerns, but it seems like there's a silver lining. Let's keep our eyes open.
Here, should do for catalyst purposes. This one, usable with a bit of polish. What luck! This should be enough. My campsite is just up ahead. I'll lead the way. This is my campsite. I've added the materials we collected to the concoction. While we are waiting, have a look over here. My assistant Timaeus here is helping me with my research. I'm guessing you may have met in Mondstadt already.
Hello! I've just gotten hold of the data from your experiment. The report is already up on the board there.
Whoa! Look at all the data! You got all these results from one slime battle?
I wouldn't call them results, inferences, and a few daring guesses perhaps. I think the most rational direction would be to expound on the phylogenetic relationship between this traveler and the slimes. Consider. You don't have a vision, but you can manipulate elemental energy. The slimes don't have visions either, yet they too are able to manipulate the elements. Following this line of thought, I'm sure we'll be able to establish a basis in fact.
Not bad for a point of entry. But strictly speaking, slimes are elemental life forms. In other words, beings consisting entirely of the elements. A cryoregis or even a whopperflower might be a better analogy. But tracing back the phylogenetic relationships between plants and animals, you might have to trace back to the world's origins. In that sense, things might get difficult, don't you think?
Yes, sir. That sounds correct.
After all, we've got our primary data already. This traveler is a visitor from another world. If it turned out that he did have a phylogenetic relationship with this world... Now that really would be something, wouldn't it?
Ah, it would. Apologies. I was so excited to get the data. I'll slow down a bit next time. Speaking of data, to complete our research, we'll need some more. I'll be conducting analysis here for the time being. If you're keen for an update, just come and find me.
Great, I'll leave you to it. Looks like the potion's ready. I'll try a little first. If all goes well, I'll hand it over to you. In line with my expectations. Ready to drink. Remember to keep calm at all times, and breathe deeply if you feel unwell.
Tasty? You've got a funny look on your face. You said you tried some already. You sure it was ready? What happened to him?
Oh, this was the result I was expecting. And a very positive one at that. This potion channels elemental power into the body. Under normal circumstances, a repelling reaction is to be expected. But if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded, you'll only experience momentary discomfort. Once the flow is complete, there won't be any other effects.
So you knew you'd be sick and still drank some?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural for me to be the guinea pig. Perhaps it's just scholarly self-assurance, and it certainly speeds things up. In conclusion, I'd say we have our conclusion. As far as elemental energy is concerned, you're no different from anyone else in this world. Nothing peculiar.
Aw, Paimon wanted something cooler to happen.
Then again, better an ordinary result than a peculiar result. Peculiar results have a tendency to be of the undesirable variety. The good thing about ordinary is that everything is an object of reference, and everyone understands you. People are the same, they can understand, empathize, encourage, and support one another. When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. But a peculiar person, they don't have much recourse for the things we take for granted. The essence of their life is fundamentally different. For example, a human can't understand the life of a pyroregisvine or an eye of the storm. Have I explained it clearly enough? To sum up, this has been a positive outcome. Going forward, you can use your elemental power without fear. Timaeus, the results of the new experiment are out. If you could see to collating them.
Just a moment, sir. I'll handle it. Oh, you gave me a lot to consider. Really stretched my limits. I'm thinking a lot clearer now. Having you down as an animal wasn't very precise of me, but starting with the premise of an elemental life form, now that was...
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter, I'd like your research at the fore as opposed to my judgment.
You can count on me, sir.
Is he trying to join the Knights? He's starting to sound like a suck-up. What Paimon meant to say was, that's the spirit. Mr. Albedo, say something!
Before we can proceed with our research, I need to prepare something. Wait one moment. If you're interested, why not have a look around? It may help to pass the time.
Here comes Albedo! Let's go see him!
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting? Agreed. I'd love to find a moment to put them all in order. Still, experiments come first. Well, on with the research. There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Tevat, for example. Here, those with visions can manipulate the elements. But worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side, do you possess any unique abilities? Ones that don't exist in this world? I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time. In other words, time for the next experiment. No. You shan't be required to exert quite so much effort this time around. Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it.
You think Paimon knows how to do that stuff?
That was your best effort? Well, can't be helped, I suppose. Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking as such. Rather, channeling your power into the ingredients themselves. I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. It may even help with proliferation. I suppose I have a curiosity for things that others find surprising. Anyway, why don't you cook us up a sunshine sprat?
Cooking? Paimon was looking forward to more mad scientist stuff.
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's a...
Paimon bets you're just hungry. It does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon approves. Good buddies are always on the same page.
I'll leave you to it then. Looking forward to the results. If there's anything left over, maybe Timaeus can finish the last morsels.
Paimon doesn't think we'll have that problem. How are we gonna channel elemental power into the food? Maybe try the willpower thing again. Where does it get these ideas from anyway? Let's just do it the old-fashioned way.
That was fast. Looking forward to testing the results. An average outcome experimentally, but you've really brought out the flavor. You seem well versed in the science of gastronomy. As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents the same headaches in your world as it does ours. Unless... could it be that the natural laws of this world are limiting your unique abilities?
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and spices, you know.
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. No need to feel disheartened. And here's your portion. Enjoy. I can box it up if you like.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safety during the whole experiment. Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone wrong. But anyway.
Hey! You were being nice a second ago! But you do have tasty recipes, so Paimon forgives you. And you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends too, right? Good students?
Yes. I'm fortunate too, I suppose. Anyway, moving on to the next experiment. There are all manner of alchemical items here. Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. A while ago, I had the misfortune of misplacing a batch. I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me. Animal crystal fly elemental extract and electrohypostasis powder.
Paimon's barely finished eating and you want us to go gathering again?
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace them anyway. Though finding them would save me the hassle. If you had, say, a superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing, lost property would be a thing of the past. I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where you were looking just now.
So, guess we'd better take a look. Oh yeah! You could use elemental sight! This must be electrohypostasis powder! The extract of an animo crystal fly can only be animo elemental energy, right? This has gotta be it! Still in one piece! Good thing the vial's so strong!
Goodness, you managed to find them. Incredible. 1,000 thanks. I'm wondering, this elemental sight, this is what allowed you to locate the items and find me here on the mountains, correct?
Yep! Guess it does sorta count as a superpower, huh?
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, it is not unheard of in Teyvat. Only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be of benefit to my research.
You mean, we failed again?
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back, I'd call this a very worthwhile experiment. I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traces. Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity. Our research on your identity as one of us is just beginning. In essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Let's start with physical. Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing? And if you jumped from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her then? So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into 1,000,000 fragments? Then could you see her? Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still, we'll gain a more thorough understanding with an experiment. I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test. Please, follow me.
You want us to jump? From up here?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is. Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis.
The opposite side of the lake. So, we're gonna be swimming?
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method that seems most rational to us. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. Others might find the whole thing rather refreshing. No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable to the research. Then if you would, please, I eagerly await the results.
Wait a minute! While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing, emotional support.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oh! Forget Paimon said anything.
Great work. I've never seen a performance quite like it. Your reputation precedes you, traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen in Mondstadt.
But you followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat!
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But if it turns out that the natural laws of Teyvat do not affect you, I should be able to make various inferences about the otherworldly civilization you belong to. If the natural laws of Teyvat do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur under the absence of such effects. The innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights, it would be something to savor again and again.
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite, I should be able to show you something interesting. I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few unusual specimens. I hope you won't be offended. Gold, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our own. The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are inevitably fleeting in nature. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, the feeling of enlightenment is lost. All these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a sunsettia or a sweet flower. They cease to be noteworthy.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to paint those hilly turtles? Because you got to see something new and interesting in the differences between them?
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, These creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection. There is precious little about them that serves to pique my curiosity now.
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you? Like some basic draft of a sketch?
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me, and I will remember this friendship for a lifetime. Now, before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Intelligence. Follow me. There are some other ruins nearby.
A reward on the road. I imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during your travels. I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities, much as we did for the physical test. I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your findings. There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center. As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action I wish to observe. A tried and tested adventurer, I see. So, let's see you in action. Start wherever you like. It's a complex environment, so proceed with caution.
Facili like these are a common sight in the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you.
Verdict is... Take this! Lightning flash! Take this!
It should now be possible to activate the central mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding out.
Hey!
Oh, seems that the water level has suddenly decreased. We should be able to see what's in the water now. Let's have a look. What's this? To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. There's still a lot to learn about them. And let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater detail after our research.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. Seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the price.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively, the little reward I can offer is too small to mention. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
Paimon's kinda looking forward to seeing the results of all this brain ache. Unless you can think of anything better to do, let's Let's head back to the campsite.
Not so fast. You're not leaving until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
You! You didn't leave the mountain?
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you and Albedo have been up to. I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor. Taking orders from a complete stranger? Drinking anonymous potions? Participating in all kinds of strange experiments? I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive. Or perhaps, you were colluding from the beginning.
Sister Rosaria's guard's so high, she can't even see over the top of it.
It doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I understand him a little better than you, Outlander. I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something more sinister.
No way! Paimon would have sensed it. And anyway, he didn't even use any alchemy.
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Mondstadt.
So, what are you gonna do?
I've gotta hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is dangerous, that's good enough for me. I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the agenda are these symbols.
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, seems like there's nothing more to them. But for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. This is now a location of interest. Regular patrols should be set up here. Now then, all things considered, I deem that you pose no immediate threat. Which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made me work overtime on your account.
Overtime?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
She's gone! So stubborn. Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that. Huh. Never mind her. Let's go see Albedo!
I do hope the Knights of Favonius are all working hard. It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay here. I do hope the Knights of Favonius are all working hard.
Onwards! We have work to do! It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay here. I do hope the Knights of Favonius are all working hard. Onwards! We have work to do!
You're back. Good timing. I've just about reached the conclusion. You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back? I wouldn't worry. She's just doing her job. Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today, and it was very difficult to finish all the research in one go. But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is you're very much like a human from this world.
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off for that?
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but in fact, nothing in this world should be taken for granted. Have you ever considered that the world of Tevat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders? I mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. But it's arguably a small miracle. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. Under the effects of Tevat's natural laws, it isn't even able to sprout, let alone bloom. But
After I observed you, I had another idea. Imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Whoa! It looks like something's appearing!
The transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem, and now to fruition. Is not nurturing otherworldly life also nurturing the world itself?
Aww.
It would seem that that's as far as we go. A transient bloom of incomparable beauty. Life's proudest achievement.
Paimon thought, with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever, and it didn't even have any fruit.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a momentary burst is precious. A short life can be well lived. A life lived efficiently, lived to perfection, is necessarily one unburdened by loneliness. So, do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Things feel a little heavy right now. Don't be sad. You've got Paimon to look after you. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential for life, it certainly doesn't hurt. Your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom. I mean that the time I've spent traveling with you in the mountains was a valuable journey for me. In the future, if the need arises, can I solicit your help again? Well, glad I can count on you. I made a point throughout of telling him how ordinary the results were. But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have been there. What could it mean? Those born of earth are bound by its imperfections, but those born of chalk are free of impurities. You and I are alike, both composed of a substance that has yet to be fully defined. If, one day, I lose control, destroy Mondstadt, destroy everything, can I rely on you to stop me?
Guess we can rest a bit. You should really bring the Knights of Favonius with you next time. Guess we can rest a bit.
I swear by my sword!
Lightning flash! Time for retribution!
It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay here.
Oh, whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me. Is there something I can help you with?
How do you do, Monsieur Chow? We understand from Mr. Crossell that you recently rented a pair of hairpins from him. My associates and I are very interested in them. Would you mind letting us take a look at them?
The hairpins? I can't lend them to you right now. I've lost them. I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right by my side, and I hadn't even worn them yet. I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value, there's no way I could come up with that amount of money on such short notice. My family is in the ore business too, but business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed off. We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around, so we've been having to purchase some stock from other ore merchants to complete them. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants I know of will be there. I need this opportunity to mingle and discuss prices. That's what the hairpins were for, to keep up appearances. I can't have them looking down on me. But now that I've lost the hairpins, what will I do?
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of déjà vu?
Would you really? I sent a commission to the Adventurers Guild, but I haven't heard anything back from them yet.
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Mr. Chow, would you let me have a look at the rental contract you signed?
Huh? Well, I mean, sure, I have it right here. Here you are.
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? Maybe she can help Juqiao somehow. True, though surely there must be a win-win solution.
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you must pay Mr. Crossell the original value of the hairpins as compensation for the loss. Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation must take current market prices into account. And given the rarity of Smaragdus jadeite, I fear that the final amount of compensation may end up being significantly higher as a result.
Even higher? Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Juqiao looks like she's about to faint.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid into the hairpins.
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are lost, so how exactly would we be able to find out if the jadeite is genuine or not? Whichever way you look at it, we've got to start by finding those hairpins.
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the jadeite is genuine, would there?
Seems right.
Please, don't trouble yourselves over this. The fact is, I lost the item and I should pay compensation per the contract. However much it is, I will have to pay it. My family are merchants, after all. It's vital that we keep our word and respect our contracts. Now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep Crossell in the dark any longer. I'll go and inform him of the issue and then negotiate the amount of compensation.
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the most sensible course of action. But before that, I have some questions about the hairpins. So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow. When you first touched the hairpins, what did you feel?
What did I feel? Well, I remember that the gemstones set into the pins were perfectly smooth to the touch, like the finest quality jade. My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past, so I am quite certain of my judgment in this matter.
Smooth to the touch. Fine. No, it's nothing. I just need to re-examine a few things. Let's head over to Mr. Crossell's.
Leo Lee Pavilion, best Lee food in town. Auto reconfiguration is an essential function.
So, are you buying or not?
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. How are the hairpins? I trust you're quite satisfied with them?
About that.
You lost them? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how expensive they were?
I'm sorry. Truly I am. I'll pay the compensation as per our contract. Every last mora.
Mora? Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get my hands on that smaragdus jadeite? I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back. Since Miss Yanfei is here, I suppose we can just have her estimate the amount that needs to be paid.
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Ah, yes, and if I may just confirm again, it was in fact genuine smaragdus jadeite inlaid into the hairpins, correct?
Of course! Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay back 10 times the value.
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by Mr. Chow in compensation. Please wait here, Mr. Crossell.
Thank you very much. How could she lose my hairpins? She'd better pay every last mora that they're worth.
Looks like I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Please wait, Mr. Chow. I have something to discuss with you. It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find somewhere that we can sit and talk in more detail.
Miss Yanfei, what is this about? Are you here to tell me how much I owe?
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the ore inlaid on those hairpins may not be smaragdus jadeite after all.
What do you mean? Are you implying that you already sneaked off and found them?
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't run thankless, time-consuming errands for a living. Let's just say I made some deductions. I don't know if Granny told you this, but smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated elemental energy. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case, and in the worst case, they could even experience a dramatic change of personality. It most certainly would not be smooth to the touch. Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel unwell while the hairpins were in your possession?
No, not at all. I felt perfectly fine the whole time. Not even the slightest bit unwell. I didn't feel anything special at all, in fact.
Now that is strange. I noticed earlier that there were elemental traces in Mr. Crossell's vicinity. If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the smaragdus jadeite in his possession.
If that's the case, we should go confront him right now and expose his dirty scam right to his face!
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. Eventually, he would find some argument to compel us to leave. And then, he'd throw the smaragdus jadeite into the sea the moment we were gone. After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. He would lose nothing. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do actually still exist somewhere in this world.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this, perhaps you could help me, Miss Yanfei.
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, could I ask you to please sign this contract?
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? Paimon can't even keep track. It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than a certain someone else we know.
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, I require a written contract. Any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter into your capable hands if you will take it, Miss Yunfei.
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now write your address here, and then sign on this page as well. And I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint over here.
This contract has so many pages. Paimon's all out of brain juice again.
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract. Have a look through and let me know if you have any questions.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite straightforward to resolve, once we've got some things squared away. I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before, in which case, hopefully this should be quite the experience.
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask, why are you helping me?
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geoenergy around Mr. Crossel, so perhaps he has, in fact, secured some. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter, but either way, it's a lead. As long as we follow it, who knows? We might just be able to get our hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage, I won't stand for it. But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to... where can we find someone who processes ore? I've got it! Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the Jade Mystery. He's a professional when it comes to working with stone and ore. If Mr. Crossel had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly have been his first choice.
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to... Oh, it's you, Miss Yanfei. Is something the matter? Surely not more spurious claims that my jade betting is rigged and no one can ever win? Oh, I swear on all that is sacred.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnine merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore processing services recently by any chance?
A Snezhnine merchant named Crossel, you say? I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus Jadeite. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus Jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them. He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his request.
Do you have any leftover debris from your work on it?
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so I kept a few loose shavings to study myself later. They're right over there, in fact.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
What should I try this time?
Try your luck betting on Jade?
I just like to make people smile.
What should I try this time?
Try your luck betting on Jade?
I do hope the Knights of Favonius are all working hard.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Oh, what should I try this time?
Try your luck betting on Jade? Try your luck betting on Jade? Try your luck betting on Jade?
Oh, what should I try this time?
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Onwards! We have work to do.
Should I try this time?
Try your luck betting on Jade?
It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay here.
What should I try this time?
Try your luck betting on Jade?
I just like to make people smile.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Huh? If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross-sections and patterning suggest that these are Smaragdus nephrite shavings. Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite is an entirely ordinary ore, containing no elemental energy whatsoever.
Is that so? Well, we might as well give elemental sight a shot. So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards? That's pretty awesome.
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time. These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart. There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to an astronomical difference in terms of the market price. And, I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of having them carved into shape.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossell...
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Miss Yenfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire,
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store was in fact Smaragdus jadeite, did he not?
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It says quite clearly, 1 chunk Smaragdus jadeite, uncut.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and these stone shavings?
Of course. But might I ask why you need them?
Oh, I have my reasons. Yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the, ore that Mr. Crossell brought to your store. Please read it carefully.
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again, Miss Yenfei, but might I know the nature of the incident on this occasion?
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard evidence to back us up, Crossell won't dare try to deny what he did!
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to find something a little more compelling. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Nope. Aha! Got it! Singsi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
Well, that was quick. How come you know so many people?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And contracts, well, I should say laws, are very important to us. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? It just seems like they're hard to understand and impossible to finish. As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible to finish?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the legal codices.
You memorized them?
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know? Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Singsi.
Onwards. We have work to do.
The key here is consumer psychology.
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you. Has something happened? Did the client from last time,
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions. Has a merchant by the name of Crossell asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Crossell? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yeah, he came to me with a chunk of something he called Smaragdus jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I remember it so well.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Sinksy, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossell commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was called smaragdus jadeite?
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Crossell wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus Jadeite Twin Phoenix Pins. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the ministry on it.
Thank you, Sinksy. Now, could you let me borrow this document?
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway. I take it then that there's been some more trouble?
Nothing you need to worry about, just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with it. Thanks again!
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one last trip. Let's go to Boo Boo Pharmacy to speak with Dr. Baiju.
The weirdo with the snake around his neck? What do you want to speak to him for?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that smaragdus jadeite is harmful to the human body. Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can wrap this case up.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
I do hope the Knights of Favonius are all working hard.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
Surely prevail in this year's Masterful Chefs.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
You and cuisine will surely prevail in this year's Masterful Chefs.
Onwards! We have work to do.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
You and cuisine will surely prevail in this year's Masterful Chefs.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
I do hope the Knights of Favonius are all working hard.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in. Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some
Onwards.
new items in.
We have work to do.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay here.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Onwards. We have work to do.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in. Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay here.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Surely prevail in this year's Master of the Chefs.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
Onwards.
Jewelry's out of
We have
stock,
work to do.
but we have some new items in.
Surely prevail in this year's Master of the Chefs.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Yue cuisine will surely prevail in this year's Master of the Chefs.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
I can't wait to see my adorable.
It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay here.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out gathering herbs. And if it isn't Miss Yanfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatans peddling ineffectual medicines again, no doubt?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus jadeite.
Smaragdus jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the 7 Mountain Treatises. The 7 Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains, and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. Knowing you, Yanfei, and given the specific nature of your question, I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical peculiarities of Smaragdus jadeite?
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind, Dr. Baiju.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document, won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity for Smaragdus jadeite recently. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment. I wonder, Miss Yanfei, if your pressing business might be related to the Snezhnayan merchant?
You needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for penning us that document. I'll make sure to compensate you in due course.
You're too kind. Take care now.
That Baiju guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a final figure for the amount payable.
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss Yanfei?
Of course. According to the stipulations of the contract, Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus nephrite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this. I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake? I demand to see your evidence.
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, please produce the evidence in question. This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner, Chateau.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus jadeite and Smaragdus nephrite. How does this prove anything? In any case, Smaragdus nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite. So I had him cut away the nephrite, he returned the valuable jadeite core to me, and some nephrite samples remain in the store. What am I missing exactly?
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to talk about evidence, aren't we?
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all.
Hard evidence, something legally binding. We have just the thing. Show him, Traveler.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all. It shows that the ore inlaid on the pins is indeed Smaragdus jadeite.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And this guy's getting more belligerent by the second.
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the hairpins are the real deal after all.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece of evidence that we haven't revealed yet. Traveler, would you do the honors? This shall serve as decisive proof of our case.
What's this?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. Sustained contact with Smaragdus jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild malady, while in serious cases, the patient may suffer a dramatic change of personality and fall seriously ill. Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous item, I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil Affairs. However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient considering that, as you say, you were ignorant of the danger you posed. Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over to the Ministry. I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait! I knew.
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear Mr. Crossell. But if you knew of Smaragdus jadeite's dangerous properties beforehand, why would you...
Huh? No, The hairpins aren't actually
inlaid with genuine Smaragdus jadeite? Is that what you were about to say? You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to pay Ms. Chow 10 times the original price in Mora? Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
Yanfei's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she's a different person.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was Smaragdus nephrite. But I'm a victim in all of this, too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus jadeite, in the hopes of turning it into a piece of jewelry that would fetch a fine price. But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I couldn't sleep a wink or eat a single bite. I was in a constant state of agitation, too. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. But how could I let all that money go to waste? That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from Smaragdus jadeite. I kept the real Smaragdus jadeite in a specially made box. I daren't touch it again. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Chichao lost the hairpins after I rented them out to her.
Exactly! If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay so much?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this line of business would be over.
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client. According to the contract, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original price in Mora, and that is final.
10 times?
Crosel looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus jadeite.
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that much, Mora. Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not, I think I owe some compensation for that.
Ms. Jichao, you...
However, Mr. Crosel, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider us even.
What? But all right then. This cursed rock's brought me enough grief as it is.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn this Smaragdus jadeite over to you. I trust that it will suffice as remuneration?
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go. But whatever, it'll do.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yunfei. When you have the time, I'll be sure to visit and express my thanks more appropriately.
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if I may confirm this again, Mr. Chow, have you and Mr. Crosel come to an understanding?
Well, yes, I believe we have.
Well then, that's good. Mr. Crosel, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so? That's good. That's good.
Actually, Mr. Crosel, I'd like to talk business for a second if I may. I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock of fine ores. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores, I think we could do some fine business between us.
Let me think for a moment.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends well, eh?
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place for it. But this time, you managed to solve the problem with just a big stack of documents. Even though the solution didn't involve actually finding the hairpins.
The right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that the rented item was nowhere near worth what the vendor had claimed it to be was the more efficient solution. An Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Granny said. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal powers?
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit. I bet she's been on tenterhooks for a while now.
Ah, you've returned. How did it go? Were you able to find the Smaragdus Jadeite? Good, good. Then we have all the materials we need.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients waiting for me back at the office.
Oh, you. All right then. Go see to your business. Granny should be able to handle the rest.
I'm off then. Bye! Oh yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave you. I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law, come find me directly. Regulars get discounts too.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave, perhaps you'd like to help me clean my teapot, hmm?
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Her father was hardly so riotous or fond of talking nonsense back in the day when he stood beside Rex Lapis. Indeed she is. Liyue has changed, and the Adepti must also learn to change. Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately acquainted with the city among us all. Liyue is not the same place I once knew. All right, then. Let us speak of this no more. Back on topic. I believe that I still owe you a little gift.
Oh, Paimon's so excited! How is it made?
It is but a single teapot. It shan't take long at all. Just wait here for a moment. There we go. This Serenity pot is all yours now. Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, oh goodness, who knows what might happen. Take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make your teapot a little more lively inside.
Wait a minute, Granny! How exactly are we supposed to use this teapot?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for a certain little helper to await you within this teapot. She will explain everything you need to know about it.
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Wow! This teapot seems even bigger inside than Madame Ping's! There's even a great big house in the middle, too! Huh. But there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Paimon can't do that! Well, you're the one with the sword anyway, you do it! Still, why is it so empty here apart from that house? Oh, wait a second, what is that?
Well, it seems that we have a visitor.
It's a huge finch!
Excuse me, I am not a finch. I am a teapot spirit, and you may call me, hang on a moment. What am I supposed to be called again? me, I suppose you may call me Tubby.
So you're the little helper Madam Ping mentioned?
Madam Ping? Oh, you must mean Ping. Yes, she did summon me here. She told me much about you. You may leave all matters regarding the upkeep of this realm to me. Your journey may be far from over, but at least this way you will not want for a comfortable place to sleep each night. Though it is the Adepti who create realms such as this, they generally do not have the time of day to attend to the banal matter of their maintenance. Thus, we teapot spirits were created to help guard their realms and manage their affairs. You may consider me a butler, if you will. Now, allow me to explain this realm to you. Have you any blueprints on you? Specifically, blueprints with beautiful rooms, chairs, and as long as you have a blueprint, you can refashion this realm however you please.
Blueprints? Oh, that's right! Granny handed us some when she gave us the teapot, didn't she? Let's take them out and have a look.
Yes, these are the blueprints I'm talking about. Go on, open them up. Just commit the image of the objects to memory and prepare the necessary materials. Then simply release the thought from your mind and the object in the blueprint shall appear within this teapot.
Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole city inside, couldn't we?
I doubt it. A golden-eyed adeptus explained this to me at some point in the past. He said that even though subspace creation is a product of adeptal power, this world is not a true one after all. It provides merely a moment of brief respite from the mortal realm, not a means of escaping it entirely.
A golden-eyed adeptus?
I hardly remember myself. What's more, well, let's not dwell on that. If there's anything you...
Onwards. We have work to do.
if it isn't my Great, very well. Maybe you've forgotten, but this whole well, it's not my anyway. You should worry about your
Traveler, anything interesting you want to... Paimon's heard that cup, but linking the cup, not only does the rhythm need to match, but the meaning has to as well. Wind rises winds, let's not waste time here.
If you ever have any questions...
The one before... Ah.
Maybe you're not you. If you ever have it...
It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay here. I do hope the Knights of Favonius are all working hard.